All right, we're going to do I want to focus video today on two main topics. So there's going to be the zone defense. Spoke a little bit about that yesterday and our plans of how we want to implement that on Friday, mixing it up with a press to keep our opponent off guard, make us less predictable. So we'll go over the zone defense and how we did with that the last game. And then movement off the ball. All right, so this is from the first game, this first clip here. You know, I've been talking about screens and off the inbounds plays. Specifically, that's something we're struggling with to keep the ball or struggling with finding ideas. It's usually with the lack of movement or lack of creativity. So, you know, halftime, for example, the last game, I drew up something on the board. I want us to set a screen and then make a movement with Ralphie and David. Here's a perfect example of what it would have looked like. Ralphie could have came over here, set a screen. David makes a movement. These defenders would then have to switch. If they don't, David's wide open. But it causes movement on their end. It causes a change of assignment on their end. That's one way to defeat man-to-man defense, right? So, and yeah, David could have came over here and set a screen behind this player here for Ralphie, and he goes that way. Or he sets the screen here, Ralphie goes this way, chip pass, lob pass up here, Ralphie can volley it in, a lot of different ideas. But, yeah, I want to see us more creative off the inbounds, whether it be screens, movement, something. And all right, next one here. So the plan for the zone. So what we're doing with the zone defense, the whole plan was to make the area compact. When we press high, we're defending this full court. All right. When we drop back and play in the zone, I want the zone to start basically a little bit after this 3-point line, basically in between the 3-point line and this red line here. All right, so that's roughly about, 35% of the court. So we're making, with all four of our defenders back, which is something rare that we do, is get everybody back, right? So we're making the court smaller with all our players behind in this area, and it forces the other team to make quicker decisions. It increases the speed of play that they need to make the decisions in tight areas. So that was the whole point of it. And then you'll see here, the whole point of it is when we do win the ball, we win it, and we are able to counterattack, right? That's the definition of counterattack. We win the ball, and then right away move up to attack as fast as we can while we have numbers, which is perfect here. We have a 1v1 versus the keeper. All right. So let's talk about this one. Again, we're in the 2-2. It's not the best zone to play in futsal, but it's the easiest to learn. That's a good foundation. A 1-2-1 zone makes the most sense if you're going to go zone, but the 2-2 is a good learning curve for us. So how does it work? Right here, we're going to see what went wrong. So right here, this player right here, remember, the highest we want to go is out here, but Ralphie out here, he's got to tuck in because this player here is not a threat. Remember hearing me on the sidelines, I was telling us to be patient, make them work, make the other team work, make them move the ball, and eventually the goal was for us to win it and then counter the other way. So Ralphie needs to tuck in here inside because now they have a 3v3 and Ralphie tucks in, it's a 4v3 versus for us against them. So what happens here, because Ralphie's out of position here, Nicholas has to step up, and then it really shifts things around and they get a goal out of it. All right. So we look here and we see how this zone breaks down. It's in the quadrants. So I drew these lines here. Box one, the organization, right? So that's what happened on that one. All right. Here we are, player movement again. Got to move. Nobody 1, 2, 3. Nobody moving. All right, so just another example how we can do better there. Here, Colby on the build out. This player's down. There I went. Colby just running up to the yellow and getting to somebody. We waited for him to get back up. So that's a little bit off topic there because I really want to stay on top of the zone and the player movement. But just another idea there. Here, more zone. This was a good play by them, and this is how you beat the zone. You penetrate the middle. So what do we do in this situation? Here, Gavin Picheni has a choice. Does he follow this runner here and let this guy have a possible open shot from this angle and this distance? Yes, that's the answer, because if this player, that's something we were betting on here, is we'd say, all right, if they're going to take a shot from out here, we like Colby's chances of being able to save that, right, from this angle and this distance. So Gavin Picheni we'd want to follow our runner here and track him. And as soon as this runner gets to Gavin Zord's zone, that's when Gavin Picheni now pressures up to the ball. And Gavin Zords would now cover this runner. So it's a good play by them. Good technical execution. Look, great first touch here. That's why I said give them credit. It's not easy to implement what I just talked about Gavin Picheni doing is holding his mark and then Gavin picking him up at the right time. I get that's complex, so learning experience, good play by them, but just to show you, well, what do you do if they actually do run a good play like that? That's what you do, because what we don't want to allow is the ultimate breakdown in the zone is if they can penetrate the middle. And that's what we don't want to let happen, and that's what happened there. All right, this one, let's see what happens here. It says there's a breakdown. Let's see where. Here we go, right here. So Gavin, he should be in this quadrant here. He should be in quadrant 2. He's all the way over in quadrant 3. All right, so here, looking at Jackson, communicating to Nicholas to drop back. We see right here, looks like he's telling him to drop down. A good thing he does, because now Nicholas gets 24. He's in his right space, and if that cross does come in, Nicholas has him. Looks like this is attack, and we're not going to focus on that. Here's a good zone. And notice how slowly they're walking the ball up. We're taking them out of their game. This is good. See how David and Ralphie come close together? I would say, though, see how Ralphie's got his body angled? We kind of want David to do the same thing. We still don't want to. We still want to do standard defending fundamentals and not play square on. Ralphie's kind of in the passing lane here, which is good. See how we're making him make a decision last minute. We shift over. Rotate again. Excellent discipline so far, and they just kick it out of bounds, right? Here's a goal off a corner. Good first time hit. And all right, here we confuse them off a press. I don't know why the screen's a little darker now because I think the sun went down in the middle of our game or something. But good example how we can just kind of mix it up and throw them off. And then they're going to be thinking, are they going to press? Are they going to drop in zone? And I think that's the best way for us to play it. Here we're talking about support. Let's see what's happening in this one here. All right, I'm not sure this one is more of the zone again, so I don't know why it says support. Maybe it's on this counter attack here. Yeah, I think it is right here. So, look, there's nobody moving fast enough. We turn this into a pass back. There's no penetrating run forward. Here, Nicholas, bam, right away has to come here. We talked about association on the last video. It's a good opportunity there. I mean, you got to be like, everything's on the line, run up. We just don't recognize it fast enough, or at all, in this case. Then here, David, he should be that forward run here. Doesn't happen. So that's another association clip. Again, I want to focus on the zone. Here we have the defense again. Look how slow they're going. We know how fast-paced futsal is. This is Ralphie. You have to shift over. So if the ball comes over here now, Ralphie, you need to shift over here. Nicholas, you about here. You have to be aware of this runner here because he could create a space and send a chip pass in the air to this player here who could then volley or head it in. And then Jackson would be covering this guy and also the cover player in case David gets beat. But, yeah, Ralph, you need to shift more here off the ball. And because this is dangerous here because they had a couple kids who had some good shot power from this distance and spot. Like he could have took one right here. Oh, he does. Okay, so Colby makes a great save, but he just didn't catch all of it. It was the kid in the red shoes that had the even better shot. All right, here we have a goal. Again, we win it. The defense, and we score in the counterattack. That was the whole objective. So here we have a delayed press. So we're not pressing. They're just literally holding the ball. I loved how we just made the other team think and made them and just really confused them. They kicked the ball out of bounds. This is a good team, right? We made them really look extremely confused at times. Here, this is a bad press because David's after the ball. Now, Ralphie was after him. And now we're outnumbered. All right, so that's lack of discipline. We're just chasing the ball. Here, I was calling for man-on-man defense. All right, here's another goal. This was in the last game. Right off the kickoff, he's walking the ball up, and this is perfect, exactly what we want. All right, goes out of bounds, so still their ball. We're still in the zone. We generate a turnover, and we have numbers. We have a 2-on-2, a 2-on-0, however you want to look at that. David puts it away there. This is the very next play off the kickoff, and again, they're walking the ball up slowly, confused, not sure where to go, and then Hudson comes up to steal. Here, we get a steal off the zone, but the counterattack, we just don't play the counterattack right. We win it. So Gavin Zorts, I want you to keep going here because look what you have. If you, Hudson and David, push fast, you have a 3v1. Instead, Hudson gets it. He's not facing that direction, so causes him to slow down. Gives this opportunity for this player to catch up. we still have a 2v1, but again, the whole point of the zone, win it, and counter. Here's an amazing save by Colby. Let's see that in slow-mo. See these hands here by Colby. Look at that. Very impressive save, Colby. And no goal, as you can see on camera. All right, one or two more here I have, and then we'll cut this short because I don't want to go over too much of this. We only have 2 futsal matches left. Again, on the counter, in the zone, we win it. We create a 2v1. And here again, we keep them. This is good. There we get cut up. See, we over pursue there. All right. And here, the intensity, we have to close on this. We can't let them penetrate the middle, right? And this is a miscommunication here. You two here up top, at the minimum, you have to come in closer together. And if you let the wing get the ball and get a shot from this distance, that's fine, right? We'll live the play for that. And, or we'll, we're good with that is what I meant there. All right. But this we're not good at, a shot from 8 feet away. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. We'll go over more before the game tomorrow, but yeah, I thought for us not doing anything with that before, we did extremely well with that, with the zone, and it's a good, even though it's not the style that I prefer to play, it's good to learn how to do that and learn how to play zone. So all good for us. All right, see everybody tomorrow or Monday. See ya.